The Clippers traded for James Harden and the experts tore them apart.
The Clippers traded for James Harden late night because they were embarrassed by this trade, and they should be because they're the Clippers.
But after they started 0-5 with him, the media said selfish diva Harden will never work.
His whole reason of wanting to be there is to get a big contract, and he's going to think I have to do that by, quote, I am a system, by being the James Harden system and other people sitting around and watching him. So somebody pays him, which, by the way, nobody's going to pay him.
Okay, Harden did make it tougher by saying, I'm not a system player, I'm a system, but 28 games in, was he right? The Clippers are the best team in basketball since benching Russell Westbrook. Harden's hitting 8 threes in a game and doing snow angels on the court. He is unlocked peak level Kawhi. And people forget, but before Giannis and Jokic emerged, Kawhi was considered the best player in the world. Now, he is the only player to average 30 on elite efficiency in a 6-game span in NBA history. It might be time to crown the Clippers as favorites to win the chip over the Nuggets and the Celtics, except for one tiny thing. There is one little detail hanging over this entire franchise that will definitely tear them down. In the end, those media haters will be right. Look, I don't care that the win streak was snapped. Lose on the second night of a back-to-back on the road against a good OKC team without Kawhi, it's all good. But I made a video saying Russell Westbrook's career might finally be over. And I said that because he was the Clippers starter, but was benched and his minutes fell to 15 a game. Every other year, Russ would have gone crazy. He has one of the biggest egos in sports. Make a scene, demand a trade, or get cut. But instead, dude has put his head down and been a team player. I am a critic of Russ, but I have to give him props because he deserves it. A big problem was Russ can't shoot, but they have so much chemistry now. Look at this beautiful Russ Harden give and go. And it doesn't matter that Russ can't shoot if he's making smart cuts to the basket like this. Oh yes, Westbrook moving without the ball. You are not hallucinating. He's also playing good defense. So I take it back. Instead of his career being over, Russ can extend his career for years if he plays this role. But the real reason that they have been so good is Kawhi Leonard. The man is late career Michael Jordan. MJ out of college was a great athlete, but a questionable shooter, like Kawhi. The GM of Chicago even said at the time, the biggest thing about MJ was, can he make a shot? We wondered what kind of shooter he'd be. But he heard all the critics and worked like hell to build his signature jumper. In the second three-peat, Jordan extended their dynasty by extending his range. His signature fadeaway featured a leg kick, and Kawhi does the exact same move. In fact, if you put them side by side, it is freaky how similar Kawhi's game is to Michael Jordan. They're identical. But none of that even matters if he can't stay healthy. But first, my in-laws are in town for Christmas. However, they are huge sports fans, so I am taking them to Pacers at Rockets. I'm sure they can't wait for that. But luckily, today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek, so I don't need to spend that much. It's the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads, over 70,000 events on SeatGeek, including concerts and sports, festivals, and more. However, we are doing Rockets on the 26th. So if I go to my SeatGeek app here, type in Rockets, there it is, 26th, and I'm looking at the deals here around the arena. The red dot means a bad deal, and the green dot means it's a great deal. I love that. SeatGeek has tickets for every single NBA game this season, plus NFL, NHL, artists like Drake, Travis Scott, and Bad Bunny on tour, and every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. SeatGeek is the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swaps. And you know I came through for you guys. I am using this promo myself. It is AM Hoops for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That is $20 off your first purchase with promo code AM Hoops. Make sure you click link in the description to download the app. The NBA created the anti-rest policy and specifically named Kawhi as one of the top offenders. LA's front office guy Lawrence Frank said, I thought that was very, very unfair and a low blow. But let's be honest, he earned it. I mean, yeah, Kawhi was injured, but he became a villain by not even sitting with his teammates at playoff games. But now Kawhi says there's zero pain in his knee for the first time in years. The plan was always to sit Kawhi and PG in the regular season to get them ready for the playoffs, but it always backfired. But for some reason, he has played all but one game now, and it's working. Same goes for Paul George. He's been surprisingly healthy, and he takes over whenever Kawhi needs a rest. But James Harden was right. He is the system. Everyone is getting shots a lot easier with the beard running the show. It's even elevated their role players. I was really concerned about sending so much depth back to Philly. I mean, Nick Batum, Marcus Morris, and Robert Covington are playoff-tested vets. But the young Clippers have been amazing. Terrence Mann and Amir Coffey impact games on offense and defense. Norm Powell is a bucket, but Harden unlocks them. And he is playing elite defense? Since joining the team, Harden is leading the Clippers in stocks, steals plus blocks. Better than Kawhi, PG, and Zubats. Take a look at this lockdown possession and strip on young Jaden Hardy. What is going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Last year, Harden sacrificed both money and his game to help the Sixers. Joel Embiid was the focal point MVP, so Harden led the NBA in assists. And what was his reward? He missed the All-Star game for the first time in a decade. He was so upset with that. Now he wants to leave, no doubt that he deserves to be on that All-Star roster, even with all the drama to start the year. The second thing is his contract. The Clippers have his bird right, so they can pay him up to the max. Kawhi and PG can be free agents too, so this will get expensive. Now, Steve Ballmer would be happy to pay that for a championship, but that will never happen. If you believe in the Clipper curse, it would be so Clippers to crash and burn after this great start. In 1976, they got Moses Malone in the expansion draft. The coach barely played him, so when Moses complained, they traded him for 2 firsts. He only wound up being the 15th greatest player of all time. They also traded young Bob McAdoo and Adrian Dantley for peanuts. So they traded 3 Hall of Fame players in under a year. But when they moved to LA in '84, it only got worse. GM Elgin Baylor took forward Reggie Williams, 1 spot ahead of forward Scottie Pippen. He took Michael Olowokandi #1 over Dirk Nowitzki and Paul Pierce. To save money, he dealt a first-round pick that had a 1% chance of going #1. But since they're cursed, it hit and became Kyrie Irving. In the Lob City years, the owner Donald Sterling was exposed as a racist when tapes leaked of him disparaging Magic Johnson for being black. The 1 year CP3 and Blake Griffin were both healthy, they blew a 3-1 lead to the Rockets. But in 2019, it all changed. A star free agent finally chose them, and he brought Paul George. LA was favorites to win it all, break the curse, and blew a 3-1 lead in the bubble. Since then, either Kawhi or PG have been injured. So it would be just like the Clippers, to build the hope up, just to tear it down on their fans' heads. The killer will probably be Kawhi and PG's health, but if it's not, it'll be James Harden. I don't care how great he's playing now, dude has a special talent for melting down at exactly the wrong time. I couldn't believe my eyes last year when, after a couple of great games, he shot 26% from the field in the final 2 games to lose a 3-2 lead to Boston. He does this every year. Great in the regular season, bad when it counts, and he's doing it again. The Clips are the best team in basketball right now, but don't be fooled. The Clipper curse is undefeated. But another big trade is coming, and LA is not involved. Donovan Mitchell could be on the move, and there are 4 teams on the market for him. The Knicks, the Nets, the Heat, and a mystery team that is not in LA.